Uniform Antique Release RA300 Nutmeg to complement. Rafco Products always recommends the pre-approval of a representative job site sample with a concrete mix design and curing methods to be used on the project. The sub-base should be prepared at an even depth, with at least 1 inch of a permeable base material on top of uniform, thoroughly compacted soil. Depending on your region, the permeable base material may consist of sand, crushed rock, or a combination of both, typically referred to as crusher base. Rafco Products always recommends following ACI guidelines for your area. Reinforcement, including rebar or wire mesh, may be required or specified and must be properly installed and ready for the concrete pour. Surrounding areas, landscaping, and adjacent surfaces must be protected and masked off with plastic sheeting or craft paper. As a rule, we'll need as many mats as it will take to span the width of the job, plus at least 2 more to begin the next row. Matching floppies and feathered edge skins are also recommended for edges, walls, and hard-to-reach areas. Prior to the concrete pour, color hardener buckets should be distributed around the perimeter of the formwork and placed at intervals for the recommended coverage. Finally, know your mix design. The proper mix design for imprinting concrete should contain at least 5 sacks of cement, non-reactive aggregate, and a 4-inch slump. You may consider air entraining agents or retarders depending on weather conditions. Consult with your local ready-mix producer for compatible designs. Now that all planning and preparation is complete, we're ready to begin placing the concrete. Always place and consolidate the concrete according to ACI standards and recommendations. A water-reducing admixture may be used to reach a 4-inch slump. Additional water will reduce the concrete strength and is not recommended. After placing the concrete, an aluminum or wood screed is used to bring the concrete to grade. Next, float the surface using the wood bull float. The float will promote bleed water and prepare the surface for brick form color hardener. Care should be taken to keep edges flat and to grade. This will ensure proper drainage and uniform texture on the edge of the slab. Once the bleed water is evaporated, brick form color hardener can be applied to the surface. Before broadcasting brick form color hardener, reach down into each bucket using protective gloves and remix any material that may have settled during transportation and storage. Multiple buckets should be intermixed. Begin broadcasting uniformly by hand at a rate of 60 pounds per 100 square feet. Apply 2/3 of the material, holding back 1/3 for a second application and touch-ups if necessary. Lighter colors and pastels may require up to 100 pounds per 100 square feet. Allow time for the concrete to moisten the hardener and float the surface with a wood or magnesium bull float. The edges should be tooled at this time, again taking care not to roll the edges but to keep them flat. Once these steps are complete, the balance of the color hardener may be applied. Check areas for touch-up, especially the edges. In extreme weather conditions, such as direct sun or wind, brick form evaporation retarder may be used to increase workability. At this time, a magnesium float may be used to increase surface tension. Once uniform coverage is achieved, smooth out the surface of the concrete using a Fresno or a steel trowel. This will provide a smooth and even surface that will better prepare the surface to accept texture through the use of brick-form texture mats. As previously mentioned, we've chosen interlocking texture mats and antique release agent for this project, although in the following steps we will also illustrate the equally simple process for using brick-form liquid release and brick-form seamless texture mats. Before continuing though, we must first determine if the surface is ready for imprinting. This is done by applying pressure to the surface with your thumb. The surface should be soft enough to leave an indentation while allowing your thumb to pull away with color but free of sand. When the concrete is ready to be textured, brick-form antique release agent should be applied to the surface of the concrete. Broadcast by hand or use a 6-inch mason's brush, spreading the release in a thin, even coat. Over-application of the release will reduce or diminish the details of the texture. Also, make sure to dust each mat before using. Notice that this texture mat design is available in 3 different colors, each representing a different random arrangement of stones. Placing the different colors next to each other reduces pattern repeat, leaving a more desirable result. Begin by placing the first mat adjacent to the edge of the form. Place a second, different colored mat next to the first, making sure it fits tightly to avoid concrete squeezing up in between. Continue placing the mats to complete the first row. Having enough mats to span the width of the work area will help to keep the rows straight and square. Avoid sliding the mats once they are placed. Bottom out each mat for even texture by walking on them or by tamping using a brick-form pounder. You only want to seat the mat, not try to embed it into the concrete. Remove the mats that were first placed and use them to continue on the next rows. Take care to lift each one straight up using the handles on the back. Continue applying brick-form antique release ahead of the texture mats. Matching feather-edge skins and floppies are great for edges and wall lines. Remember to dust each one with release before initial placement. Once texturing is complete, examine all textured areas for necessary touch-up. Use a brick-form touch-up wheel or aluminum chisel for sharp, high-quality details.